Okay, welcome to day 31 of the online Irish Inner Peace Pilgrimage. And as I was saying, we're coming up to the last 10 days of this pilgrimage, so it's a great honour and a privilege that we have our first interview with a very special friend of mine, who some of you I'm sure know. And that, of course, is James Twyman, the peace troubadour and musician and many other things, and has done some great work in the world to help with peace. So we're just going to have a very relaxed conversation here with Jimmy, ask him for a couple of things and ask him about a couple of things. And one of the things I mentioned to him before the interview was there was 3 words that he spoke about ever since I met him about 8 years ago, and they were surrender, trust and gratitude. So maybe Jimmy would just like to talk a little bit more about them.
Well, first of all, I want to say how happy I am to be here with Sean, with all of you. I'm here in the Wicklow Mountains in Ireland, maybe an hour or so from Dublin, and I love this area. I just finished doing some events and decided to take a few days off just to come and relax and do some writing. And when I come here to the Wicklow Mountains, it always reminds me of the first time I came to Ireland, which was probably about 12 years ago now, when I came out here to Wicklow and to Glendalough and some of these really beautiful sacred places. And it really connected me with the spirit of the land, which is so important here in Ireland. The rolling green hills and the lakes and the rivers and the sea, and I felt the need to want to come back, and if I was going to spend a few days working and writing, to do it in this sort of environment, I knew would be great. And so I'm really happy to be here. And as I said, it reminds me of that first trip when I was first talking about my experience with the emissaries, which I wrote in my first book, Emissary of Light. And really, it all came down to that very simple teaching that you summed up with those 3 words: surrender, trust, and gratitude. The emissaries that I encountered in Bosnia back in 1995 said that this is the ultimate spiritual process. In other words, it is the culmination of all the great spiritual processes or paths in the world. They all boil down to these 3 experiences, always beginning with surrendering, which is my ability and willingness to let go, to release into the divine, to realize that I don't know, and to know that if I surrender and let go, that I can fall into the knowingness of the divine. So it always begins with that willingness to not know. And then once we empty ourselves in that way, our next challenge is then to trust that there is one that does know. That as we fall back into that surrender, that releasing, that emptying, that there is the spirit of truth that can lead us into new realities that we couldn't have accessed on our own. We have to trust that, and that is, I think, such an important part of the process. So once we're emptied, then we're filled as we trust this new flow. And then there's a point at which these 2 come together, where surrender and trust merge, and we are sort of springboarded into this state of spiritual gratitude. And for me, this is not just gratitude on an ordinary level, where we're grateful for a beautiful day or that kind of thing, even though that's great, but where we're grateful on a deep, profound level for everything, regardless of how it appears, because we know that everything is guiding us and leading us into a deeper understanding and appreciation of who we really are, where the illusions are falling away and we're entering into the truth of our own identity as one with God, with the divine, with each other. And so this is what the teaching of surrender, trust, and gratitude is. It is the foundation of all spiritual paths. If we can remember in every moment to surrender, to not know, to let that be okay. You know, the ego hears the idea of surrender and thinks that it's a negative thing. But in reality, it's the beginning of true wisdom. And then to trust just to always be in that state of perfect trust, to know that we're going to be guided, and to be grateful for everything, no matter how it appears, the things that seem to be of benefit, the things that seem to be of challenge, to know that they're all bringing us into a deeper appreciation of our sacred selves. And for me to be able to do that in a place like Ireland, it's a tangible experience for me. I'm actually finishing up a new book right now, and I'm going to finish it up in the next day or two, and wanted to do that here in Ireland because I knew that I would be able to feel it in a deeper way, to be in nature, to be here in this beautiful landscape, and to hang out with Sean. Yes.
That's the best part, of course.
So I hope that's helpful.
Absolutely. It's
anything
great,
else
Jim.
you want to chat about?
Well,
You say let go of what you know, and I shall show your way to go. Yes, I shall show